Okay, so we put a little grease on our drive shaft there. We're going to spray some carb cleaner up here to get the rest of this stuff off. The rest of the old silicone off. We scraped it some with a razor blade. You want to get as much of this stuff off as possible. Grab my razor blade. Now get as much of this old silicone off as possible, so you get a good seal. Now some people like to just put a bead of silicone around this as well. I like to use these neoprene seals from OSD Marine. Now this one didn't have any pump spacers. We didn't need any pump spacers. There are normally little shims that go here underneath, between the hull and the pump, around the bolt, around your stud. So this one didn't have any, and we were pretty good on our pump alignment. So on our drive shaft, when we used our alignment tool to align it, so we were good. But we want to get this good and clean. As much as possible. And we have we take off our backing for the seal. And that goes just like that. Okay, so now we're good. Now getting these splines here lined up with the splines in the impeller can be a pain. Some grease helps. You don't want to go in dry. Okay, where'd my silicone go? It's up here. Okay. Now we take our silicone here. I like to do a little around the bolts or the studs. Don't need a lot. Just a nice little thin layer. Then I do a glob around the 3 holes. just like that. Now you can take your pump here. As you can see, I got some grease inside there. And I'm going to do some more around these baler lines and the inlet line, just like that. And we are ready to install. You want to watch your speedo cable. And like I said, we're not lined up. I'm going to take a screwdriver, try turning that impeller a little bit. Probably need a longer screwdriver. The impeller is hard to turn. The impeller is hard to turn because we have new wear ring. I want to reach up in there and make sure that drive shaft. There we go. Now she's sliding in there. You can see she's going in there. Start our lock washers. Where are my flat washers? Okay. I'm just going to do it this way. Now it helps if you have your intake grate off. You can reach up in there she's being a pain. Okay. I'm gonna look up at and check you look good. Yep. I'll show you what I'm seeing. We're looking up in there. You can see we're good in there. We're seated up in there just right. And we've got a good mush seal there. Okay, so while those two nuts are on there, I'm going to do our flat washer, lock washer, nut, now flat washer, lock washer, and where'd my other nut go? Okay, I'll have to find that. Take this one off. Flat washer, lock washer, nut. Okay. Other than some washers and lock washers disappearing on me, they like to disappear. I'll grab those from my collection. I always keep extra washers and lock washers on hand, as well as nuts. These are 10 millimeters for these pump studs. Okay. Spread out your silicone. Now there's normally a nice hole right up in there. I like to fill that as well. And you are good. Our spring will go right here for the reverse bucket. Hooks on the back latch. We'll have to get another one for this later. You can work, it'll work with just one spring. You can get by with just one spring. You don't really need two. One spring is good enough, really. But we'll get our nozzle on. So here we have our nozzle. I'm going to cut off these zip ties I used for hanging for painting. Remove some of the masking tape I have on certain areas. I should have just took the bolts out, but I didn't want to lose the bolts. So I just threw some masking tape on them. So that's our reverse bucket. The steering, this is the lever here for the lever. The screw for the lever will go on your left side. And this will go in there just like this. I gotta grab my bolts. Now these bolts have spacers here, collars, whatever you want to call them. The short one goes for the nozzle. Your nozzle has your this one doesn't have trim, so it just has your steering to left and right. And it's going to go just like this. Get that one started. And we'll get this one started. You can put blue Loctite on that if you want. I don't really see it's necessary. Just get them good and tight. Now we'll do our reverse bucket. Get that started. There we go. I'll get this one started. The collar is really stuck on there. Grab my hammer. Okay, hopefully the collar is there we go. Make sure she's all good and tight. Now, it's not quite loose. We got some thickness from the paint, but she'll wear her loose. You don't want them to be too tight. If they seize up and they don't move, then you have an issue, guys. Now we're ready to put this on the ski. I got to round up some bolts. Okay, so we are here with our nozzle and our reverse bucket, and we got our bolts we need to bolt it up. And I'm going to take this steering nut or steering bolt and stuff off. we can get that into the nozzle. And we have these 2 O-rings we got to put right there. That's for the bailers. I like to put a dab of silicone around the outer edge. That will help hold your, kind of make it sticky so your O-rings will stay. Again, we got these new O-rings and everything we need for this pump rebuild. And cone oil from OSD Marine. Now we got our nozzle. We have to with the reverse bucket. It can be a pain. I think these bolts are too short. I think this is for the, I think these are too short. Those it must be for the 95. Okay, so here's the ones I have, and here's the other ones. So I think we need the longer ones. So those two just got just a few threads in there, so but we'll get the bottom ones going. Yep, way more threads. There we go. Need the longer bolts. For this one with the reverse bucket, so they got to be about 1/2 inch longer. Okay, so now we'll take these short top ones out. Swap those with a long one. Don't over tighten these, because they have a plastic housing. It's a nut to plastic housing, and that plastic housing will crack, and then your nut will just spin, and then you end up having to cut them out, which is a pain. Okay, so our reverse bucket and our steering has got to be put on. Now, these are always a just like that. Slip our bolt in just like that. And then our nut. Get her tightened up. So you need two 10 millimeters. There we go. Our steering is good. Now we just need to do our reverse bucket But I want to get this spring. This is the hard part, getting that spring on this hook. I'm going to grab a long needle nose pliers. So I have these two style long nose pliers. I reach back up in there. Yep, and that's what happens a lot. Trust me, guys, this is a pain. Trying to get that hook back. Ah, there we go. Second time. There we go. Got that on. So see, it will work with just one spring. We can get this other spring later if we want to. Now we're going to do this reverse bucket cable. Get that on there. Now I gotta find where that nut went that I took off earlier. Here we go. Okay. Let's get that wrench up in there. There we go. Our reverse bucket is good to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, this quick how-to on doing a cone pressure test and installing the pump on this 1996 GTI. So we've made some progress on this, and what we've got left is the fuel baffle, put gas in it, and get it fired up. We'll do some decals, we'll do a water test, and hopefully we'll get it sold. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I appreciate it. Hit the like button, leave me a comment, leave me a suggestion on other videos you might want to see on how to repair some stuff. That'd be great. Please subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. Last of check, as of right now, I've got 615 subscribers. I'd like to hit 1,000 before the end of summer. But we made a lot of good progress on this GTI. And I really like this whole style. It's very nice to ride, very stable. My fiance loves riding my other 96 GTI I restored last year. But this is a very good ski to ride. The 717s are generally pretty reliable. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.
This video is sponsored by OSD Marine. Check them out for all your Sea-Doo two-stroke parts.